Guys, Assassin's Creed Odyssey is so good. It's like, I cannot comprehend how surprised I am right now. So, I want to do my first impressions for this game, kind of in a more laid-back format, I guess, because I don't really do these that often. I did mine for Spider-Man PS4, and I did them for Origins last year, but I don't really do them that often. The game really has to connect to me to do these first impressions videos, since I know not many people watch them, mainly people on my channel are subscribed for Halo content, but I really want to talk about other games that I really enjoy and really surprise me. And on Friday, Assassin's Creed Odyssey came out, and just to give some context for this, I love the Assassin's Creed franchise. I've played all of them since they've started releasing since Black Flag, and I went back and played all the other ones. I think just like the first one's fine, second one's great, Revelations and Brotherhood are both fine, 3 also enjoyable parts of. Black Flag is my favorite in the entire franchise. I just love all the pirate stuff about it. I think it's awesome. And then pretty much Syndicate and Unity and Rogue I also just all think are fine. They're kind of the average ones in the series. And then they took that year off, and then they came back last year with Origins, and I loved it. Like, the only thing I wasn't a huge fan of was kind of like the setting and just some of the gameplay changes and how it wasn't really Assassin's Creed anymore. But I still really enjoyed it, and I thought it was a great step forward. And now, since we learned that they were going to be coming out with a new one this year, I was getting a little worried, but then we started hearing this stuff about how this was being developed at the same time, and as you can clearly tell from just a lot of the UI stuff, it is very similar to Origins, and just kind of telling from just like beginning stuff of what you could see, like I was getting worried that they were going to rush it out, and to my surprise, the game is actually phenomenal. I am very impressed. So I'm kind of going to go through some things that I really enjoyed about the game. First of all, I do want to say, if you loved Origins or were a huge fan of it, you're going to like this game. I felt the same way, and I just am really enjoying it so far. And if you weren't a fan of Origins and you're not really a fan of the new RPG direction that the series is taking, you're probably not going to like this game. But just kind of everything, first of all, I like that you can really like the RPG elements that they're incorporating into it are awesome. Like the fact that now you can choose between your male character or your female character. You have all the different dialogue options. You have all the different things with how you approach side quests. You have like if you can kill different characters, if you don't want to kill them, just everything you say. It's just really awesome. And it's really something I never really realized I wanted from Assassin's Creed, because I don't really like RPGs that much. I'm not really a person that is kind of focused on RPGs. I've never really enjoyed them. I just kind of find them overwhelming. Like Skyrim is really the only one I've ever been able to get into, but I'm really enjoying this, and just kind of took Assassin's Creed giving their interpretation on it for me to really get into it, so I really appreciate that. I'm just really loving it so far. Also, it's just kind of overwhelming, I guess. Like, there's so much content in the game, which is a good thing. I enjoy that, at least from what I've seen, all the side quests so far have their own dedicated cutscenes, which is awesome. It really bothers me when just kind of games just throw then the lazy third-person over-the-shoulder cutscene that's not really a real cutscene. So it seems like all the side quests do have full-on cutscenes so far, which is awesome. But yeah, there's just a ton of content in the game, and I've constantly find myself being overwhelmed on the map with all the different things you can do. And just, yeah, the whole RPG approach is awesome. And also, something that I wasn't really anticipating that I didn't really think about until I actually got my hands on the game was the setting. Like I said, I really enjoyed Origins, but while I did enjoy the game, I didn't find myself that invested, I guess, in the ancient Egypt setting, which is something that I was kind of worried about going into that game, and I was kind of right, because I just didn't find it that interesting. Like, it's just kind of bland to go around, and again, it was really impressive. I love that game, but I like this more. I think this is a much better game already than Origins was. And for me, one of the big reasons, yeah, was one of the setting. I just love actually being able to see trees, and it feels like you're in a more video gamey world, I guess. I don't want that to sound like a bad thing, but I really enjoy, I can't really put it into words, but I just like not being in Egypt, I guess is the best way to put it. I really enjoy that. And one of the biggest things that I know people kind of were anticipating, not really, but is going to be the story, and that's really the only thing I'm a little disappointed by so far. Especially the first 1 or 2 hours of the game, they're kind of slow, they just kind of go on, and maybe it was around 2 or 3 hours in the game before you even get the big Assassin's Creed Odyssey logo pop up, and so it took a little while to get into that. And the story also so far I'm not super invested in. I just think it's kind of fine so far. Again, Origins I felt the same way. It took a little bit for that story to get going, but once it did, I really enjoyed it, so I do feel like that will most likely be the same case for this. Either way, I am very excited to see where it will go. I'm only around maybe 4 or 5 hours in the game so far, but that's what first impressions are, just giving my first impressions on what I think so far. And kind of moving on to one of the biggest things in the game that I had no clue on, just to give some context, I didn't really keep up with any of the marketing stuff for this game. I saw the E3 stuff, but I didn't really keep up with every single interview and just stuff. I just see kind of the big news headlines. So when we get maybe 2 or 3 hours into the game and I see that there's going to be more naval combat, I was like, alright, they're going to do what they did in Origins, where you just had the maybe Aya sections or whatever, where you just had the really limited combat and that was it. But no, it straight up is Black Flag. I was shocked. I cannot put into words how much I loved when we got into that, because Black Flag, like I said, is my favorite game in the entire franchise just because of the new pirate approach and just sailing around with your crew and the sea shanties, and all of that is back. Like, I was shocked. Basically, it's just Black Flag, but with refined mechanics. So basically, if they tried to make Black Flag, but on today's hardware with today's technology, and it is fantastic. You can do all the things you can do in Black Flag. You have your crew. You can customize every bit of your crew. You can take people from whatever island, anywhere on the map, and like bring them into your crew. You can customize all the different members of them. You can customize the ship, all the different weapons and stuff. And also, the shooting and like just ship naval combat is just like it was in Black Flag. Not exactly, obviously, since like some technological advances weren't made in 400 something BC, but it's still really incredible, and I love it. And just, you can do everything that I wasn't expecting. You can board ships, you can just do all the stuff. And also, speaking of that, just kind of the combat is very similar to Origins, but I still really enjoy it. And especially the new additions, like all the different Spartan kick and just all that stuff are incredible, and I just love it so much. And just everything with the ship combat is just awesome, and just the sea shanties are back and boarding, and I just loved it so much. I really was the main thing, because I was like, alright, I'm enjoying this game so far, but when they finally got to that point, I was like, alright, I want to talk about this. I want people to know, if they don't already, if they're a big fan of Black Flag, that this game is probably for them. And it's just awesome. And even the stuff that they couldn't really do in Black Flag, like now we don't have to go through these stupid cutscenes every time you board a ship that like is the same thing every single time of you getting the barrels and all that. We don't have to go through that. Now if you want to just kind of park your ship in the middle of the ocean and swim to somewhere, well, you can do that. You don't have to dock your ship at like a big thing and fast travel and do it with a little cutscene. You don't have to do any of that. It's all one giant expansive world, and it really is just like showing me what they could do if they made like a Black Flag sequel in today's like generation, and it's awesome. And really, the best way that I can kind of put this game right now is just like basically merge Assassin's Creed Origins, which was up to this point my second favorite game in the franchise, and merge Black Flag, which was my favorite game in the franchise, and put those two together. Like put the well-designed stuff and then all the new RPG elements, but like on steroids from Origins, and then put all the naval combat and piratey stuff from Black Flag and put it into one game, and it is incredible, and I love it so much. This definitely is one of my favorite games that is released this year. I'm really impressed so far, and if you guys are a fan of Black Flag or just Origins, I would definitely recommend picking up this game. I'm a very big fan so far. The only thing that might not pan out to how I'm hoping is the story, but we'll see about that. Most of the main missions have been pretty enjoyable. Once again, the gameplay mostly remains similar, but I do appreciate the changes they have made, and I just think that this is probably my favorite Assassin's Creed game ever. It may surpass Black Flag, just because Black Flag, all the naval stuff, I do kind of maybe prefer like the style of it, I guess, in that game, like the time period I do prefer in that game, but the actual stuff as a game, like the gameplay mechanics and just all that stuff and the missions are much better in this game, since it's just not a bunch of escorting missions, which was one of the main weaknesses of Black Flag. So this probably is my favorite game in the franchise, definitely my favorite game of the year so far, and probably, in my opinion, the best AC game, which is a huge deal for me. I had very low expectations, and I was just like, alright, you know what, I'll see what they do. I'm sure they rushed this out in development. It's the Syndicate team, so we'll see what happens, but it's awesome, it's incredible, and I am shocked. Like, I cannot put into words how amazed I am that this game is as good as it is. So if you guys are at all interested, tell me what you guys think if you have gotten a chance to play it, and just, if you're a big fan of Black Flag, then try it out. If you're a big fan of Origins, then try it out. If you're a big fan of RPGs, try it out. I think most people will be able to find something they can connect with in this game. And personally for me, with going in with low expectations, I am shocked, and I am very, very happy with the way this game has turned out, and I may have videos on it coming out in the future. Anyways, let me know what you guys think about Origins, or not Origins, Odyssey, if you've gotten a chance to play it yet, and thank you all for watching. Majestic Gaming.